You should not have to turn a man's silence into a spiritual puzzle. If his interest only feels clear after you have explained it to yourself, defended it to your friends, and prayed for another sign, the problem may not be that you need more discernment. The problem may be that he is not giving you clarity. Hear me carefully. The man God sends may move thoughtfully. He may need courage, and he may not know where the story is going on the first day. But slow is not the same as stagnant. Attraction can create a powerful moment. Intention creates a pattern, and these 7 patterns will help you recognize the difference. The first sign is that he returns without needing to be chased. A confusing man can make one moment feel unforgettable. Maybe it was a deep conversation, an evening when he looked at you differently, or one message that seemed to say everything you had been hoping to hear. Then the moment passes, and so does his effort. Days go by, the warmth fades, and you begin wondering whether you imagined the connection. Just as you start letting go, he returns with enough attention to awaken your hope again. That is not a pattern. That is a cycle. A clue is one beautiful moment. A pattern is consistent return. A man with healthy intention may have demanding weeks and real responsibilities. He may not communicate exactly as you do, but his desire to know you will not appear only when he is lonely, emotional, or afraid of losing access to you. He returns because the connection still matters after the moment has passed. Proverbs chapter 20 verse 6 says, "Many claim to have unfailing love, but a faithful person who can find?" Many people can express affection when the feeling is strong. Faithfulness is revealed by what continues when the feeling settles. So do not measure his interest only by the strongest conversation you shared. Watch what happens afterward. Does he return without needing to be pulled back? Does he remember what you told him? Does the connection survive ordinary days when nothing dramatic is happening? There may have been a time when one beautiful message made you excuse a week of silence. You held tightly to the clue because you were afraid there would never be another connection like it. But God is teaching you to watch the pattern. You are not becoming demanding because inconsistency no longer impresses you. You are learning that genuine interest should not need to be resurrected every few days. And if there is no man in your life right now, let this become your standard before attention arrives. You are not waiting for the most intense beginning. You are learning to recognize the kind of interest that knows how to return. The second sign is that his words and actions begin telling the same story. Some men speak in futures they never intend to build. They tell you how special you are, describe places they want to take you, and talk about everything the two of you could become, but nothing in their present life moves toward those words. He says he misses you, but makes no time to see you. He says he wants something serious, but every practical conversation about seriousness makes him withdraw. His words create hope, while his actions create doubt, and you spend your energy trying to decide which version of him is real. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 7 verse 16, "By their fruit you will recognize them, not by their potential, not by the apology that sounded sincere, not by the future they described when they were afraid of losing you, by their fruit." A clue is a promise. A pattern is follow-through. A mature man will not be perfect. He may forget something, misunderstand you, or fail to do what he intended. But when that happens, he takes responsibility. He does not hide behind good intentions while asking you to keep living with the same disappointing behavior. If he says he wants to know you, he creates space. If he says he will call, he calls, or communicates honestly when something changes. And sometimes, clarity will not sound romantic. It may sound like, "I care about you, but I am not ready," or "I want to move slowly, but I do want to keep moving." Honest clarity may not always give you the answer you hoped for, but it gives you solid ground. Maybe this is part of the deeper work God is doing in you. There was a time when one apology could erase the pattern that made the apology necessary. One affectionate conversation could make you explain away weeks of inconsistency, but your eyes are changing. You are not becoming suspicious, you are becoming discerning. Grace gives someone room to grow. Denial keeps calling the same fruit a temporary season. You no longer need to confuse the two. The third sign is that he carries his side of the connection. Look honestly at the relationships that exhausted you. Were you always the one beginning the conversation, suggesting the plan, repairing the distance, and finding another reason to keep believing? Did the connection stay alive only because you kept giving it breath? Some women do not realize they have been carrying both sides because they learned to call over-giving love. You told yourself he had been hurt, that he was not expressive, or that he simply needed someone patient. Those things may have been true, but compassion does not require you to become the entire engine of a relationship. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor." Notice that Scripture says two. Healthy love is not one person building while the other occasionally visits. A man who is serious about knowing you will participate. He will initiate conversations, make plans, ask questions, and become one of the people protecting the connection instead of leaving that responsibility entirely with you. You are allowed to respond to his movement. You are not required to manufacture all of it. A clue is that he responds warmly whenever you reach out. A pattern is that he reaches for you too. Real relationships have uneven seasons. One person may carry more during illness, grief, pressure, or exhaustion, but mutuality still becomes visible over time. Can you feel him carrying something? Does his interest cost him time, effort, vulnerability, or convenience? Does he move toward you when there is no guarantee you will make the first move? Maybe you spent years believing you had to prove your value by being endlessly understanding. You became useful, available, forgiving, and emotionally strong because you feared that having needs would make you difficult to love. But God is healing the woman who believed love had to be earned through exhaustion. You may not be difficult to love. You may simply be learning that love was never supposed to require you to carry two people. The fourth sign is that he wants to know your heart, not only enjoy your attention. A man can enjoy your beauty, your warmth, your encouragement, and your availability without ever becoming curious about who you really are. He may know what makes you laugh, but not what makes you feel safe. He may know your favorite music, but not what you value. He may enjoy the way you listen to him without ever learning how to listen to you. A serious man begins asking questions. Casual attention never needs to ask. He wants to understand your faith, your family, your boundaries, your direction, and the lessons your past has taught you. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 5 says, "The purposes of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out." Real interest draws out what is deep. A man who only wants the feeling studies your reactions. A man considering a future studies your heart. He remembers the boundary you shared. He becomes careful with what makes you vulnerable. He cares about what strengthens your faith and what disturbs your peace. He does not collect your story simply to create fast intimacy. He treats what you reveal as something sacred. This is the difference between attention and intention. Attention enjoys what you give. Intention asks who you are and what it would mean to build something that honors you. There may have been a time when being wanted felt like enough, but God is deepening your standard. You are no longer impressed simply because someone notices you. You are learning to recognize the difference between a man who wants access and a man who wants understanding. The fifth sign is that he protects clarity instead of using confusion to keep control. Confusion can create a powerful attachment. When he is close, you relax. When he withdraws, you panic. When he returns, the relief is so strong that you mistake it for love. Soon, you become afraid to ask direct questions. You lower your expectations because you do not want to push him away, and you accept partial answers because any answer feels safer than silence. The less clarity he gives, the harder you work to preserve the connection. But a healthy man does not deliberately feed your anxiety to keep you attached. When there is a misunderstanding, he works toward clarity. When he needs space, he communicates instead of disappearing. When he cannot give you what you want, he does not keep you emotionally suspended simply because he enjoys being wanted. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33 says, "God is not a God of disorder, but of peace." Peace does not mean every conversation will be easy. Truth can be uncomfortable. Boundaries can disappoint people. Honest answers can hurt. But there is a difference between discomfort that produces clarity and confusion that produces dependency. Saying you matter when he senses you pulling away is easy. Communicating before the relationship reaches another crisis is what gives those words weight. The right man may challenge your fears, but he will not deliberately feed them to keep you attached. This matters deeply if unpredictable love has shaped your nervous system. Hot and cold attention can create an emotional high, and consistency may initially feel less exciting because chaos trained you to call itself chemistry. But safety does not always arrive like fire. Sometimes it arrives like the absence of smoke. God is not making you cold because drama no longer excites you. He is healing the part of you that once mistook anxiety for passion. You do not need a connection that constantly activates your heart. You need one where truth allows it to rest. The sixth sign is that he begins making room for you in his real life. Some connections feel important in private but remain invisible in reality. The conversations are deep, the attraction is strong, and the promises sound sincere, but you never move beyond private messages, late-night calls, and hypothetical futures. You know what he feels when the two of you are alone, but you do not know where you fit in the life he actually lives. A man with real intention will gradually create appropriate space for you in his world. He makes room in his schedule, plans ahead, and begins allowing you to understand the people, commitments, and rhythms that shape his life. When the time is appropriate, he is not ashamed to let others know that you matter. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 8 says, "Live as children of light. What is healthy can move toward light." Privacy is wise, and relationships should develop at a responsible pace. But privacy and secrecy are not the same thing. Privacy protects something that is growing. Secrecy hides something that does not want accountability. Talking about a future is easy. Making room for you in his present gives those words weight. He considers your schedule when making plans. He allows the relationship to exist outside moments that are convenient only for him. you begin to see not only what he says in private, but what he is willing to make real. Hidden affection is not the same as intentional inclusion. Perhaps you once accepted hidden love because you feared that asking for more would make him leave. But God is restoring your dignity. You are not asking for too much because you want a relationship that can exist in daylight. A serious man will not treat you like a beautiful interruption. Over time, he will begin discerning whether you belong in the life he is actually building. The seventh sign is that his interest eventually becomes a decision. There is a season for discovery, friendship, prayer, observation, and wise patience. But a healthy connection cannot remain permanently undefined simply because definition requires courage. At some point, recognition becomes movement. He expresses his intention. He takes a concrete step. He begins giving responsibility to what he says he feels. 1 John chapter 3, verse 18 says, "Let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." What is real eventually becomes visible. A man may feel something deeply and still need time to understand it, but if he is serious and emotionally available, his inner recognition will not remain hidden forever. When recognition is real, it eventually puts shoes on. A clue is believing he may secretly want a future with you. A pattern begins when he starts choosing one. This is where many women become trapped, not in a relationship, but in a possibility. They become attached to what a man might do, could become, or perhaps feels, but has never expressed. Months, or even years, pass inside a story that has never been spoken aloud. Beloved, hope is beautiful, but you cannot build a future entirely on someone else's silence. Clarity does not mean knowing the ending. It means knowing what both people are choosing now. The man God sends may move carefully, but he will not keep you permanently suspended. Sometimes a man's honest decision may be that he cannot move forward. That answer may hurt, but truth releases you from building your future on uncertainty. A mature man would rather disappoint you with honesty than keep you attached with ambiguity. That, too, is honor. And God is healing the woman who once believed that waiting indefinitely proved the depth of her love. You do not need to remain available to potential that refuses to become participation. You were never meant to build a future out of clues. Now, here is what I need you to do. Watch the pattern. If one man has been in your mind throughout this message, do not take one good conversation and turn it into a prophecy. Look for return, agreement between words and actions, mutual effort, genuine curiosity, protected peace, real inclusion, and movement. Do not ask only, does he feel something? Ask, is he building anything with what he feels? Maybe these signs are showing you what was missing in a past relationship. Do not use that realization to shame yourself. You were doing the best you could with the understanding you had. Perhaps you believed patience meant waiting without boundaries. Perhaps you believed love meant carrying both people, or that being chosen required proving how little you needed. But your past does not have to become your identity. It can become your education. And maybe there is no man in your life right now. This message is not 7 reminders of what you do not have. It is preparation for what you will recognize. You do not need someone in view to develop a standard. You do not need to know when love will arrive to stop accepting what love is not. Wait without shrinking, heal without hardening, hope without inventing. And when someone enters your life, do not look only for fireworks, look for fruit. Maybe the greatest sign is not only that a good man will become clearer, It is that confusion is becoming less attractive to you. The woman who once built futures out of clues is being healed. The heart that once called anxiety chemistry is learning the sound of peace. And the woman who carried both sides is learning to put down what was never hers to carry. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming discerning. God is not only preparing clearer love, He is healing the part of you that once built hope out of mixed signals. God may ask you to trust His timing, but He will not ask you to pretend that inconsistency is commitment. God is not making you harder to love. He is making you harder to confuse. If this is the work God is doing in you, type it in the comments. God is making me harder to confuse. Before you go, recognizing clarity in a man is one thing. Becoming the woman who no longer builds hope out of clues is the deeper work, because that kind of steadiness has to be practiced after the feeling of one video fades. That is why I created The Still Point, a 30-day devotional for the woman who is waiting. Each day gives you one scripture, one reflection, one prayer, and space to write, all in the same warm biblical voice you hear here. The first link is in the description. And if reading at night feels hard, there is a complete audio version too, so you can close your eyes and listen. Come walk those 30 days with me. You were never meant to guess your way into love, beloved. In time, what is real will become clear.